Let's look at the whip then. Explain its composition and how you rule on the whip.
All right, thanks Ed. So some time ago the BHA and its predecessors did some research on the appropriate design of the whip, we believe. And what I have in front of me is the actual inside of the whip. It's a carbon fibre, very lightweight, and you'll notice at the end there's a paddle, and that paddle is shaped that way so that it holds in place the foam flap of the whip to make sure it doesn't rotate as it goes. And you can see that's a soft foam, it's lightweight, and then when it's dressed the whip comes out looking like that.
And in terms of how you control it?
Well, we control it through the stewards, obviously, and you'll recall back in 2011 we did an extensive review into the use of the whip. At that time we halved what we believe to be the appropriate number of times the whip could be used in the race. We then turn that over to the stewards. The stewards look at how the whip's used. They then interpret and use their discretion as to whether the appropriate use of the whip's taken place. Fundamentally in flat racing, seven uses throughout the race triggers the steward's interest. In jumps racing it's 8 times, but they'll look at the use of the whip in the round and decide whether or not the rider's in breach of the rules.
It always gets people talking, Jamie, as you well know. And I thought what was interesting, Eva, a couple of weeks ago, John Frankham, known to many as the greatest jockey of the lot, said on ITV in a feature with Sir Anthony McCoy that if he could change anything in racing in 2018, he'd get rid of the whip. Would you agree with him?
Would I agree with him? I think I'd agree with John Frankham on the majority of issues in racing, but on this one I'll have to disagree.
Why?
But I'm looking at it from a different perspective. I'm looking at it from a veterinary perspective as well as a horse owner and animal lover's perspective. From what I've seen in my career, I've never seen a horse being marked with a whip after a race. And I think when a whip is used according to regulations, there isn't an animal welfare problem.